Hello everyone, so we're doing a follow-up video, and this one specifically about, it's a PSA that this dude Kyokuji FGC it's just a short PSA for people to learn fighting games, particularly older ones. I see way more focus on memorizing numbers, especially for young players, which is usually a recipe and frustration for failure. And I agree, you guys know I don't cover numbers in any way, shape, or form early on. And if someone I feel is ready and do it, I cover the bare minimum, like basically the rules, and then I don't go further from there, right? Because it is a lot to try to do. But I think I like this. I like this as a good conception and something I try to do, but I think they elaborated pretty good, and I'll let the video play out. How important is frame data when learning, right? And he talks about many attacks will result in both places you're setting to neutral, right? And this is specifically for older fighting games. So you notice it's not like mining fighting games where you're mega close. In the case it's annoying, yeah, it doesn't really matter. And this is what I also mean, like situation matters a lot. That's why knowing numbers doesn't matter at all. Unless you see, this is what matters. See, look at how look at the distances in. And this is what matters more. See, what matters, okay, what, like say round start, that's why I always focus on round started, because everything's always the same, right? And in here, it's like, I even knew right away. So see, he's pushing him away. So you as a Ken player, you have the options, okay, I can either fireball, walk forward, do down medium, or do Shoryuken. These are the things you want to know to look out for as a Ken player. He wants to, okay, I want to try to jump in, and you can see, oh, too far for wreck, I can't do it. See, and there's all these things. This is what matters far more than frame data is. What are the options right now that you have available in the position you're in against the player you're fighting? Whether it's the character or, see, look at that, boom, throw a fireball, jump in. Now time up, look, watch. Now it gets DP'd, and now you're playing Street Fighter. That is literally what fighting games are. It's more about this than it actually is about frame data. It's the exchanges. You see, even says up there, it's far more value. This is way, see, in many fighting games, like this is where it is. Like, okay, that one I don't get into the frame data. You need to know the exact frames. All you need to know is I tell people, if they do a sweep and you're blocking, sweep back. That is punishable. It's more important you need to learn concepts. Spacing, punishing, anti-airing, you know, things like that. So, because you can know this is negative 12. What is that going to tell you? You just know, okay, you're going to try, so it's negative 12, I'm going to go safe and do a jab. It doesn't tell you, okay, that the jab is too short to reach them at that range to punish it properly. Yeah, and of course there are still things that, again, as they say, reset neutral. Yeah, no, like know at that distance what you want to do to get your offensive pressure going, or defense in your sense. That's far more important than frame data. And now let's get into the, yeah, so I totally love that this video encapsulates. To clarify, since a few people respond, yeah, you know, let's look at the three quotes, because I've seen this. This is damn good advice, but please don't misinterpret as frame data is unimportant. Right, for some people, like, no, it's definitely important, but it's situational, right? I would only say frame data is important when they're right in your face, and you know about the, like, again, he has a DP, like, oh, okay, or like, if you want to press advantage, right, like, they like to press buttons after, like, okay, after he gets in and does this move, am I negative or plus? Can I take my turn or not? That's when frame data matters, right? That's the only time, if I'm being honest, at low level. Frame data, basically, yeah, frame data without context is meaningless. See? Yeah, it's like memorizing the footnotes before you read the text. It doesn't give you the whole picture, absolutely. I did in my tweet, something I explained myself, but whatever. Pushback can tend to leave negative moves unpunishable. See, that's another thing too. Something can be negative, but if they're too far, I mean, like I mentioned with the sweep and the jab. Unless you have that, yeah. Frame data became a lot more important, and universal input buffer became a standard. Frame specifics were less relevant without human effort and strict timings. I guess to a degree, yeah. Agreed. I think newbies need to learn spacing, positioning. Oh, so I talked about spacing long before they start skimming. Same with combos. That's why I said it before. It's far more, it's not important to learn combos. It really isn't. Like, it's a good staple, but once, that's why I say when you first play, just play it and get a feel. You need to be comfortable with the game. You need to know your character's buttons. That's the first most important thing, is have control. Because fighting games, more than any other genre, put you in the steering wheel of your character, and you have to genuinely be one with the character. You can't sit here and like, oh, I did this and it didn't come out. Like, if you have to sit here and question, oh, why this, then you're still stuck. You need to get comfortable with your character first, above everything else, right? And then you have to learn the rules of the game, and then you have to then learn your opponent, which is the hardest part actually. And that means either from what that character can do and what your opponent knows. And that in itself, that's the biggest variable. Even if you can know your character, you can know a basic combo, you can know your frame data, but you don't know your character's frame data. And then on top of that, even if you do, you might play around that. Your character doesn't play around that at all. Like I said here, like, if you can know all the frame data you want, I've had to send this firsthand, but they're playing in a different way that just ignores that, then you're not even playing the same thing, right? Like, let's say, okay, you do the sweep, and you want to try to do something to punish it that's safe, like say down medium kick, and then he jumps, and then he kind of, and you're like, what? You literally think this should be my turn. Why didn't I do it? And that's that kind of thing, right? It's far more important to be able to play the neutral game than it is to try to, oh, let me learn the frame data, let me learn the combos. Like, no. First, actually learn to play the game. Like, I can't stress that enough. But yeah, it's a part of the game, but it's not the most important part. Also, going back to the long combo video, this is why I think long combos are bad, because you spent too much time focusing on long combos instead of actually playing the game. Which is why I will die on the hill that definitely anime players, well, not all, a lot of anime players, basically only anime players, and especially like MBC type play, their neutral is ass. They can't actually play fighting games. They're too focused on getting the first hit and winning. Oh, okay, cool, thanks. To new people, mathematics. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I love mathematics, you know, strategies now. And people were talking about how it's something about like, oh, the amount of misinterpreting on accident is big staring. I've been saying this, how you can do it when you first start. Yeah, exactly, when you first start. Optimization comes later, but recognize situations, safe, challenge, and punishable scenarios come first. See, look, thank you, absolutely. Some people were saying like, oh, this is why old fighting games are better. You can get a feel. And to a degree, I can see, right, because you can tell when, okay, I can do stuff, but now you're up close, and it's kind of hard to tell when someone's plus or negative, right? Tekken does a better job to a degree, but the problem is it's because of how bloated it is, it's really hard to tell. Like, you know, if you're super negative, you know, Brian puts his arms all the way back kind of shit. Street Fighter 5 did a better job, but like, oh, if it's a light noise with light white, oh, it's like not that negative, or like not that punishable. Medium, okay, but if you're like a large dunk, and then you see a giant white on your block, oh, you know that's like, you can sweep it, right? Like, I think Street Fighter 5 really pushed it forward. Like, okay, yeah, we're closer, but now we give you a better indicator to show that, okay, you know, it's intuitive. I feel that's the only thing old fighting games did have, is that you genuinely didn't have to know frame data as much. I think that's one of the things that common threads were saying. I think to a degree that is true. I think at lower level it mattered less. I think that's the better way to put it, because at high level it always matters. At high level, frame data always fucking matters. There's no way around that. But at low level, I think it mattered a lot less in old fighting games. Because again, when you're half across the screen, none of that shit means anything. Because like, frame data's when I jab interrupt. You're not gonna jab the dude for shit if he's half across the screen. And that's the other thing the other thing is, yeah, it's also a lot of bullshit. It made punishing things and the neutral of old fighting games just actually cancer. So I'm glad. If anything, a lot of us complain that we wish we were closer after some strings. That's how I personally feel. But I do feel like I like both. I think there's some, like, if you're purposely trying to be close, then all right, cool, let me give them the options. I think most things should be like, there is pushback where frame data can matter, and then there's like some things, like if someone's trying to do some genuine degenerate shit, or they're Omega plus, and we've seen it with Fafnir, there should be some pushback, you know. Like, I think that should be safe. We can all agree, the more plus, the more pushback they should be, right? To a degree, I guess it depends on the move, right? But yeah, and then we'll look at, see, those are the critiques, and then we'll go on to what he's saying. See, to clarify, since I've seen a few responses about this, I'm not saying you should only play by feel and study data is bad. It just needs to be contextualized. Also, this loop thing sucks ass. Yep. Knowing the exact numbers isn't important or even relevant a lot of the time. Yep. I've seen too many people mention frame data as a roadblock. Yeah, dude, that's all the people time. Like, dude, you don't need frame data unless you actually want to get... If anything, you literally do not need frame data unless you actually care about being good at the game. Like, in a sense, right? Like, you can be good at fighting game. Like, dude, there's plenty of people that are good at fighting games that don't know frame data, right? Clearly, they're limited, but if you're just playing for fun, don't even bother. You genuinely don't need it. There are plenty of people that play fighting games that don't need frame data. But if you actually want to be good, like actually good, and not get clapped for free by people like me, yeah, no, you need frame data. But by that point, you've already gone past the fundamentals and basics and are very well comfortable with your character and with the way the game plays and the matchups, right? And to add to that, it's not like you slog through a bunch of data that break through your ceiling and why waste of numbers. Yeah. It's interesting because I feel a lot of people had with learning SF5 is they feel they had to know encyclopedic knowledge of frames, what was important to the rules, yada yada. It's funny because that was the first thing I did. I actually have a notebook of, and it helped me a lot, but I started getting stuck because, like I said, of the problem, like, I'm playing by the frame data, but my opponent isn't. You know, so they'll do like the most dumb shit and it will work because you don't expect it. The most important thing is you can act in a situation, right? Like I said, knowing the exact frames doesn't matter. What matters more is it my turn or is it not? That's the main thing all plus and negative frames really convey down to. But if you want to know the specific numbers, it shows you, okay, can I try to press my advantage if I'm negative? And then how, like, even though if I'm plus, am I +5 or +1? Those are two different things. If you're +5, you can get away with way more shit. If you're +1, you cannot get away with that much. That's why they can mash jab when they're +1, because the only thing that'll beat their jab is your jab, because there's, you know, it's only one extra frame of advantage. There's not a lot of moves that can frame trap that. I think this is what people are trying to say when they talk about older games when you play by feel. See, this aspect makes older fighting games so much more fun to play and learn for me personally. No, not really. Older fighting games are definitely very frustrating, like for sure, for sure. To each their own. The whole play by feel, you can still do that now. But bro, here's the thing. I feel like that whole play by feel thing, because Punk said it before and we talked about it on the channel, is that the problem is people become, because of the internet, both in terms of frame data and just tech, people catch on way too fast. So the play by feel era is kind of gone if you play at high level in a sense. Like people will just learn the meta immediately, or the most relevant meta in a sense. So the whole play by feel thing is like, I don't, dude. I played Guilty Gear Strive. That's a modern, and I did frame data for shit. I still played by feel. Like so that whole play by, it's like, nah, it's just, I think at the end of, people being boomers kind of thing, right? But I feel to a degree it's that kind of, it's not by feel. It's not a feel. You can just clearly see. Like I said, it's I think it's a problem of fighting games not being very conveyant of when you're negative or plus, or again when it's your turn, not my turn. And I think the three states: light, medium, heavy, not in the number sets. And in here, you didn't need it. You just didn't need it because of how far they were. And the best games that kind of do it, a bit of Tekken, primarily Street Fighter V does it the best. It's very easy to tell. Oh, I can just sweep them. This one's like, okay, I probably shouldn't press anything. Then the other one's like, oh yeah, I could totally probably press something. You don't need enough frame data for that. But yeah, no, that's what I'm going to cover about this topic. I thought it was a pretty good, important topic, and especially I like it. It gave me a good insight of what I should be covering. Again, this video is going to be saved on here, and I'll show them like here. There you go. See the situation, because that's really what Street Fighter is. I'll Hadouken Shoryu or Tatsu if I want to close the distance and doing some stupid shit. But it's negative as fuck, so it's a big gamble to do Tatsu full screen. Well, I mean, unless it's tipped, then in which case you're safe. But that's beside the point. But yep, that'll cover this topic. Then we're going to talk about the other ones. It's 3 topics. I'm probably going to upload them one day because it's better for the algorithm. Which, again, for the algorithm, like I said in the last video, don't like and subscribe. That is reverse psychology. But definitely leave a comment, because that helps for me to get more money from YouTube. That way I can keep talking shit for free. And also teach people for free. Because I don't charge. I don't charge for teaching. So there you go. You're welcome.